this edition of Daily World News. I'm Ajit Chak, and with me is Cal Koff here today. Cal, the news from Ahmedabad is extremely frightening. Apparently, a ground collision between two aircraft, Indigo and SpiceJet, is about to take place, and something like close to 400 passengers could have been seriously injured or killed. And this was averted by an alert air traffic controller. Now, you see, aviation is growing at a rapid pace in India. Aviation was confined to a distinct minority in our country till 1990. It was only post-liberalization, after the Narasimha Rao government took over in India, that we had even come up with the concept of a private Indian airline. Otherwise, earlier the Tatas had an airline which was nationalized, Indian Airlines and Air India. Now, we have so many private players now in the aviation industry, and we are new in this game, and we always keep hearing horror stories like that some pilot went off to sleep while flying an aircraft or doing something like this. But the USA has a long history of private aviation, and you people have handled tremendous volumes of air traffic. So how do they avert these kind of accidents in the US?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We have a long history of it. In fact, the airplane was invented in the United States by the Wright brothers. And then in World War II, we used to send 1,000 bombers over a German city to try to obliterate it. And this was before the widespread use of radar. So this accident was avoided, as you said, by an alert air traffic controller. Basically, there's two redundancies in systems that are supposed to be used. One is there's a local source on the ground that is supposed to account for the physical presence and distances between the planes. They should never be close to each other. And secondly, the air traffic controllers are supposed to oversee as a backup. Sometimes the situation is reversed. They're primary, the air crew is secondary. But the point is there's a dual redundancy there. It's getting to the point now where after the attacks in 9/11, if there were, God forbid, another hijacking like that by Al-Qaeda, they couldn't crash the planes into skyscrapers now because the skyscrapers have been secretly retrofitted under the name of George Bush to have a transponder on them that will keep the plane from crashing into it. So the idea is to avoid an accident. You're right that India does have this reputation because in the years that I've lived here, I've heard of many close calls where somebody does fall asleep or some inexcusable thing goes on that shouldn't be happening. And I think if there were ever a symbol that epitomized the failure of India to run their airlines responsibly, I would say look at Kingfisher and look at Air India. Running massive debts, flights are not on time. I've been on Air India, it has not been fun. And they either need to grow up or get out of the game. I'm very blunt about it because when you make a mistake in this industry, it costs people their lives. And you hit the nail on the head. The airline industry, air travel is growing so exponentially that Airbus and Boeing cannot keep up with demand. It's a great place to be in if you're those two companies, but they can't make the planes fast enough. And it's only going to continue to go up. So India needs to get with the program yesterday. And that means they've got to get rid of the mindset they have that is causing this lackadaisical attitude. They need to put safety first. And as a foreigner in this country, I have asked my Indian friends if there is even a Hindu word for safety, because safety doesn't seem to be a high priority in this culture. You see it everywhere in how people drive, to the lack of enforcing laws.
So basically you're saying is that we need to upgrade technology.
Yeah, they need to do that, and they need to know. I mean, I've been around air traffic controllers. I used to work at Boeing, and I know for a fact that the first couple of minutes before a plane especially takes off, before they get to taxi, and after they land, those are stress moments, because that's when something can go wrong and kill people. When the plane is miles away, nobody worries about it. They just worry about the relation of one aircraft to another. But there are minimum distances of at least keeping 1 nautical mile apart in the air at all times, minimum. So when you're on the ground, either taxiing to park or getting ready to take off, Those are stress times where everybody has to be on alert, because that's the danger time.
Thank you.
Thank you.